Ajax getting off to a great start after their heroics last season with Valencia, both of them at the top of the group after wins tonight, leaving them ahead of the posse there. Chelsea go to Lille in 2 weeks' time, and Valencia are at home to Ajax. And Frank Lampard talked in the press conference leading up to this game about how, you know, it's all fine week to week, but that European football, there's a step up in terms of concentration and just key moments against experienced teams like Valencia were tonight. And is that what happened with the goal, Graham, in your view? They switched off for just a moment.
Yeah, it's people not doing their jobs. You know, Jorginho and Tammy Abrahams don't do this job. I mean, we'll show it in a second. It's a nicely flighted ball, but Rodrigo's allowed to run between Abrahams and Jorginho here. Look, they're holding their line. When you're that high up, the minute the ball's kicked, you've got to be heading back towards your own goal if you're defending it. And if you want the wall nearest us, it's Abrahams and Jorginho. They stay where they are and allow Rodrigo, who's the deepest line in the D there, you can see him, in white. He runs across the blue line and then goes in between Abrahams. You've got to be thinking about going back. At no time are they looking over the left shoulder. I think it's more Abrahams. He's got his hand up. At no time is he aware of where the danger is. It's wrong people, wrong place, wrong time.
But they do make the run back just too late. It is that split second, though, isn't it, Niall?
That's what happens at the highest level. You make a mistake at the highest level, you get punished, and they did.
Because a great ball and a great finish. Let's not forget that. From
and a great run. I mean, is the run so good?
It's a bendy run, yes, but the reality is you should feel it, you should see him coming, you should put your hand out and drop a yard or two and always have him in front of you. Problem was neither player were centre halves. You've got a centre forward, you've got a midfield player, and they just went, oh, he's gone.
It's basic. You know, the ball's coming. The goal I'm defending is here. The ball's coming in here. You don't stand and do that. You open your body out and see what might happen and think the worst. And at no time did they open and look over the left shoulder to see where the run was coming from.
Split-second moments decide matches at this level. A big moment then with the penalty. Now, there's two talking points in terms of this one, right? There's the decision itself, and we mulled it over when it happened. Now, you thought initially there was something to look at here.
Yeah, as soon as
and yet felt it was a little bit harsh on Voss.
Yeah, because you're so close to the player. Daniel Voss, he's 2 or 3 yards away there, and I said at the time, in slow motion, that looks as if it's a blatant handball, but in the speed of reality and real time, you know, it's very hard for him because he's not in an unnatural position. He's a defender that's holding his ground. His hand is a little bit away from his body, but the pace the header came at him, he couldn't get out of the way of it. So I found it was very harsh, but I knew they'd look at it. I was 50-50 on when it would be given, and when it was given, I went, wow, Chelsea have got out of it. 3 minutes, 4 minutes to go, they're going to get away with it.
Now, this dynamic was really interesting, especially when you know that Barkley misses it. Abraham talks to him, Jorginho talks to him, Willian talks to him.
He's getting advice all over it, and Willian is hanging around an awful long time, and Willian really wanted that. Jorginho probably did too, but said, OK, go on, lad, you have a go. Willian wasn't so happy, and the whole dynamic was wrong in the lead up to it, you know.
See, so at the start of the game, we're going to hear from Frank Lampard.
I'll tell you what, I think we can hear from Frank Lampard and his view, and he was obviously asked about this after the game.
Who's the main penalty taker in Chelsea?
Well, Ross has been the penalty taker in pre-season, penalty taker for us, and he missed. So it's normal that players are competitive to take. He didn't start the game, but Ross is a penalty taker, and it was just a shame that he missed.
So Lampard's point was that Barkley had taken penalties in pre-season, had been designated the penalty taker when he was on the pitch.
Start of the game, Barkley's on the bench. So you have to clear that one up. Who will take the penalties if we got a penalty when Barkley's not on the pitch? By the look of that, that would have been Willian, not Jorginho, who's taken him in the past. That would have been Willian. So then Barkley comes on in the second half. Didn't do anything special. Willian's had a really good night, and he's overruled Willian, because Willian obviously wants to take it. Now, if Willian had been a big personality, he would have taken that. But he's subservient, wasn't he? He just accepted that.
Well, that was the manager's call. Now, bear in mind, Barkley hasn't taken a competitive penalty for 3.5 years. He scored 2 against Newcastle in the Premier League and for Everton back in 2016, but it was the manager's decision.
I do believe that that's a great show of support from the manager for Barkley to protect him for any stick that he will get over that decision, because there was doubt in the air. Why was there doubt in the air? Because Willian was hanging around. Jorginho was in behind, hanging around. Abraham was coming up, giving him a bit of advice. That didn't look to me like the designated penalty taker, and there's no other bets. All bets are off.
It was a little.
It was the dynamic was wrong.
It?
The dynamic was wrong, and I think, in fairness to Frank, he's helping his.
If Willian had been a bigger personality, that could have blown up, couldn't it?
Stand aside and
well, it could have been arms in the air.
Yeah. Lads, the Champions League is back and already talking points.
You're not going to have to pick us a winner now.
Tomorrow night, I'll tell you what, let's see all the teams and we'll pick it tomorrow night.